others without becoming defensive or dismissive, and using it as an opportunity for growth and improvement. That's what this is all about. In general, etiquette refers to the unwritten rules of behavior that govern human interactions, helping us navigate social situations with respect, empathy, and kindness. Sarah's got more for us.
Yes, so today we'll be taking a look at two different things: etiquette for receiving compliment and etiquette for receiving criticism. It's important to note that so many times a lot of us do not know how to take in criticisms. You know, we see criticisms as a personal attack. Yeah. Especially maybe at your place of work, and you know, you're being assessed and a couple of criticisms are chipped in. A lot of us feel like, oh, maybe this person doesn't just like me, there's a personal attack on me. Yeah. But when we are to receive compliments, we take it all in. We need to understand that criticisms come in as a way of correcting us and showing us, okay, you can do better in this area, or you shouldn't have done it this way. Why don't you adopt this method? So let's first start off. Sorry,
before you go on, let's dissect that a bit. There is constructive
criticism.
Yes. Yeah. So the person who's doing the criticizing, what's the motive? What's the approach?
Are you trying to just bring this person down?
Exactly.
Or you are trying to bring out something good for this person? And also how you go about it. Yeah. How you talk to the person. Yeah. Also matters. But we'll kick off with compliments first. You know, we'll take a look at etiquettes for receiving compliment, and the first one here is to acknowledge. You know, respond with a simple thank you or appreciate that. Also be humble, avoid boasting or becoming arrogant. Very true. When you're being complimented, that's not the time to say, oh yes, I'm always hearing that. I know
I get that a lot.
I know I have super, oh yes, I know that I can pull that off now.
Gosh,
it's not a new thing.
That's marks of arrogance.
So that's not the time to be boastful or arrogant. Show gratitude, express genuine appreciation for the kind words. Don't deflect. Accept the compliment graciously without downplaying or dismissing it.
Sarah, talk a little bit on this. Some people do not know how to accept compliments.
They feel like you're just trying to, if I could use the word,
patronize,
wind them. They feel like you're just trying to wind them. So most times when you're complimenting them, they don't see it from a place of, oh, this person is actually being sincere. They see it from a place of, maybe you don't want me to feel bad. That's why you're just saying it. If I tell you, oh, you actually did very well on that project, you know, or on that presentation today, because they probably feel like it's not there. And sometimes people are not used to being complimented, so it's something new to them. Also, smile and make contact. Ensure that when you're being complimented, you smile and you also make eye contact. It's not that they are complimenting and you just, you know, make your face very stiff. Be flexible, smile, maintain eye contact with the person, so that, you know, the person understands that you received that.
Yeah, when you said something about, you know, a stiff face, it just cracked me up. Well, you know, they say it takes more muscle to frown than to smile. Yeah, smile a lot. Yes. Makes you younger. Well, etiquette for receiving criticism now. Number one, listen actively, pay attention to the feedback and try to understand the perspective. Remain calm, avoid becoming defensive or emotional. Acknowledge their perspective, show that you value their opinion, ask clarifying questions and seek understanding and specifics. Very important. 5, thank them, appreciate their input and willingness to help you improve. 6, take responsibility, own up to mistakes and commit to growth. 7, don't take it personally. Separate the issue from your self-worth. We could spend the day discussing this.
You see this one about not taking it personally. I think a lot of people have a lot of work to do in that area. You know, I said it earlier. If you are being criticized, don't say, oh, Vivian doesn't like me. That's why she's actually picking on me. That's why she's, or maybe because we're not the same skin tone, or maybe because we're not from the same tribe, or maybe. Learn to take it with an open mind to do better. People that do not know how to take criticisms most times end up in a pitfall at the end of the day because you feel like everything you're doing is correct. So criticism is an avenue to actually get better at your own craft as well. Even if you're doing something personally, it might not be someone else's job. It might be, maybe you run a food business. Be open to have people, oh no, I think that you should do better in terms of your packaging. I think you need to do better in terms of, okay, how you make use of pepper.
I was going to, gosh, are you a mind reader? I was going to say add a little salt or a little pepper or something. Yeah.
So you need to learn how to take that. And sometimes you also need to know, it's also important to note that there's a part where you need to learn how to filter criticisms. Because there are times where people just say it. There might be nothing wrong with what you're doing, but sometimes everybody just wants to talk, or people just want to get at you. So you need to know how to filter what to accept and what to discard.
I like that part. And you remember what we talked about, was it yesterday or a couple of days ago? I remember it was you and I on the show where we say, don't dwell on negative emotions or negative thoughts. You know, so when you're criticized, take, just like you said, filter it.
Yeah.
Take what you want, leave the rest.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so where were we? Don't take it personally.
One,
yeah, don't take it personally. Separate the issue from your self-worth. That's the 7th one. And the 8th one is follow up. Show that you've taken their feedback seriously by implementing changes. That's the essence of it all. I'll pass the baton to you, Sarah.
Right. Finally, remember that receiving criticisms and compliments with grace and humility demonstrate maturity, respect, and a willingness to grow. That is such a very, very good place to land this morning. We hope you've learned something on etiquette to receiving compliments as well as criticism, so you know how to balance both. We'll take a break now. When we're back, we'll come in with our newspapers to go straight into the newspaper review segment. We'll be back in a moment.
Well, if you just joined us, this is the Breakfast Cafe right here on High Impact TV. Sarah and Vivian in the house. This segment is where we're going to take a look at the major headlines, the national dailies. We begin with the Daily Trust. Yeah, so if you're game, let's get this show on the road. Now, major headline here says, wait for it, guys. Nigeria paid 1.04 billion naira ransom to kidnappers in just 1 year. Is a report, and it's mind-boggling. I got a number of writers. I'm thinking I should take them all. The first one says 1,056 killed, 7,568 abducted in 1,130 incidents. Second writer says credible intelligence lacking. And this is coming from a former AIG. Let's see now. The third writer says ex-DSS boss wants emergency declared on security. I agree. The last writer says troops neutralized 1,166 terrorists in 29 days. Breath of fresh air. That's good news, and that's coming from the DHQ.
If we're going to just touch on this in like 1 minute, right? Seeing the figures that Nigerians have paid to secure the release of their loved ones, colleagues, or what have you in the space of 1 year is a big it's a big stain on us, to be very factual. And I recall that, let us also note that this is a report and the figures might be higher and it might be lower, right? Let us also note that I remember there was a time former president of former governor of Kaduna, El-Rufai, you know, was talking about the fact that he wasn't even going to pay ransom to bandits, and we've had, or to kidnappers, and we've had the conversation over and over again about how if ransom is the way to go. Some people have said it enables the kidnappers because they feel like, okay, they are being paid. Some people say, oh no, it's just to secure their loved ones. And we've gotten cases where people pay ransom for their loved ones and they don't get them back.
They die in.
They either kill them at the end of the day, or they pay and they still don't see them. So how exactly, I appreciate the fact that troops have neutralized over 1,000 terrorists in 29 days, about a month. But how exactly is the security agency, the forces, how are they planning to actually curb this situation? Now, ransom of this amount has been paid in the space of 1 year. Is it paid in cash? Is it transfer that is being done? How can't they trace these things? If someone is going to withdraw, like imagine the terrorists.
How can they not trace this payment?
How can't they trace it? What is wrong with our intelligence? You know,
the former AIG said it. Intelligence is lacking.
So these are things that we need to look into, pay attention to see how we can nip this in the bud. Because I want to believe that. Imagine somebody has to go to the bank to withdraw about 50 million naira. Questions should be asked. You know, I know my bank, once you are trying to withdraw a certain amount of money, they will call you in for questioning. Also, it depends on the type of account that you're running. Ask you some questions and all of that. I know there are some cases where people rally around to meet family members, friends, to gather the money. But somehow I still believe that there should be a strong tracing system to these things.
These are very valid points you've raised. It's one of the things we're going to be asking our guest analysts when he comes on board.
Absolutely.
But Sarah, remember that when former CBN Governor Emefiele had done the currency change, he said one of the reasons was that they wanted to trace payments to terrorists. I don't know how well that worked to do. But let's continue with this. That's this very interesting looking picture on the front page of the Daily Trust. You see Joe Ajaero, the NLC chief, and you see Femi Falana, you see Deji Adeyonju behind him. Is this what I'm thinking? Are these people going to be representing him?
No, that was Joe Ajaero with his legal team. After his release from the intelligence response.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently he was grilled for about 2 hours questioning. So it's just normal for him to go with his legal team. I wasn't surprised when I saw senior advocate Femi Falana, you know, with him. No,
the thing is, I'm not even surprised that he's with his legal team. It's the caliber of the legal team.
Yeah, this is NLC we're talking about.
This is NLC, right. Yeah. All right, let's see how it goes. We see this one here now on the front page of the Daily Trust. I returned $10,000 to please Allah. Woo! That's coming from an airport worker. I
saw the story yesterday. He found it while he was cleaning the airplane, and he reported it so that the rightful owner can be found. It's a good deed, and I hope that he's compensated.
Well compensated.
You know, well compensated for the act. Someone else could have probably taken it and just, you know, disappear, but he thought it good and noble to report it.
In fact, it's just you and I that are saying he should be well compensated. He is not looking for any compensation, according to him. He said he did it to please Allah.
His religion.
Yeah, so. And probably for his conscience, for God. Kudos. This one here says, it's right below this particular story. It says, police interrogation. That's a subtitle. Labor movement was dying for. That's coming from Ajaero. Below that, you have this one, strike. Federal government slams no work, no pay policy on resident doctors. This is not the first time this is happening.
And I always have my reservations. Now, it's too sad. You're saying no work, no pay. You don't come to work, you're not paid. But they're also saying no pay, no work for the money that you're owing them. So how do we reach a balance?
Yeah.
Do you understand? You are owing me. And I've decided I'm not going to work till you meet my demands. So you are not telling me if I don't work, you won't pay. Okay, first pay the one you are owing me.
Then I'll
Let's
work.
now start on a clean. Then I'll work. It's just fun.
I like that line of thought. It's awesome. No work, no pay. But I'm saying no pay, no work. I mean, it's 1-1. Well, let's take a look at this other story on the front page of the Daily Trust. It says the CBN report warns of rising financial strain for citizens. Are you kidding me? Oh, gosh, I'm just going to hold my thought. Well, let's go above the middle strip. It says, crash food prices in 1 month. The federal government is telling traders. Now, is it about you telling them, or are there going to be regulators? I mean, making sure that this happens. What are you saying? Let me take it again. The federal government is telling traders to crash the price of foodstuff in 1 month. Well, let's see how. It's a good thing, though. Let's see how it goes. Second story says, above the middle strip, says students seek review of federal government's 18-year admission eligibility. This is a story that's not going anywhere until it is reviewed. Last but not least, on the front page of the Daily Trust, Zamfara residents kill 37 bandits. This is interesting. The residents have taken matters into their hands and they've killed 37 bandits. You want details of that? Just go straight up, page 6. And that wraps it up for us on the front page of the Daily Trust.
Now we move very swiftly to the Vanguard newspaper, but do not forget you can be a part of this conversation. Do also call us if there's any headline you want to contribute to or you want to bring us up to speed with anything happening in your area. 0812-182-0154 is the number to call. But the Vanguard newspaper has this story, exploitative pricing. Traders get 1 month notice to crash prices. A couple of writers to that story. You want to get more details is on page 5. I would like to get into an in-depth analysis of this with our guest, who is also an expert in that field, to understand how this is going to happen in the space of one month. Regulations need to come in place, stability need to come in place. These traders are also buying these things at a higher rate. So how do we manage the situation so it's a win-win on both ends?
But I like the caption, it's interesting.
Exploitative pricing.
Exploitative pricing. The traders have taken advantage of the state of the economy. I'm sure this is nipped in the bud.
Absolutely. But above the masthead, we have this one that says, why cement prices are high. That's coming from the BUA boss. It's a page 20 read. Coronation anniversary, that I'm king doesn't mean everything I was before I was crowned is thrown away. That's Olu of Warri. You get details on page 14. Alleged terrorism financing. What NLC president told police, that's according to sources. You want to get details, is a page 8 read. Federal government will liaise with European Union to take action against Simon Ekpa. That's from the defense headquarters.
Simon Ekpa is a thorn in the flesh.
I want to see how this pans out. You get all the details on page 13, Vanguard newspaper. Moving on, we see this major story here as well. Tension in Kebbi as military personnel shoots DPO dead. I'll take that headline again. Tension in Kebbi State as military personnel shoots DPO dead.
That's unfortunate.
This must have been a very disturbing accident.
Have you heard where experts in the past have said that there must be synergy between this our security architecture?
It's very important.
It's important. You don't have the military fighting the police. It doesn't work.
Sure, this was an accident, but it's a page 6 read, Vanguard newspaper. Beside that, there's a report here. Insecurity, 55,910 dead, 21,000 abducted in 4 years. That's according to a report in regards to insecurity. And finally, on sports page 30, Osimhen Chelsea transfer deal nearing conclusion. But we have Usman from Sokoto on the line. Good morning, Usman. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, my sisters. How are you all doing?
Very well, thank you.
Very well, good morning.
Thank you.
You are looking beautifully well this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for the compliment.
Thank you.
Pertaining to the prices of foods to come down, by the authority that I just heard you people saying.
Yeah.
Will they just jump? Will they just, decide to leave what is needful? That is bringing down the price of diesel and fuel, because this is the main problem. It's not the price of the food, because if you go to the villages, the food is cheap, but to convey these foods to cities where people will buy, they have to pay so much money to transporters. So this, it seems as if this government is not serious at all. If they want prices of everything to come down in Nigeria, they must subsidize fuel, diesel, and petrol.
All right.
Because there is no, you see, if I deal with food, for example, you don't expect me to go to the village, buy this food, pay so much money to the transporters to convey this food to the market, and you expect me to go and sell at the loss. It's not that these marketers these people that used to sell food are happy with the situation on the ground. But the price of fuel and diesel is very expensive. And it seems the government is not doing anything about it.
All right, Usman.
So the earlier the government...
Yeah, please go on, land on your thoughts.
Yes.
I mean, the earlier the government does the needful, then the better for everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Very much.
Thank you so much. A safe place to
land.
God bless Nigeria.
Thank you.
Talking about logistics.
Yes.
If these things are cheaper over there and it has to get here, it will have to get here via means.
Yes.
So Usman is calling on the government to subsidize petrol, diesel, gas, what have you, to make the transportation of these food items easy to avail to cities.
Yeah.
Also, let's not take away insecurity that affects some of these our farmlands as well. Yeah. But I think that wraps it up on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Okay,
let's see what we have here. I've got the Punch here, and it's packed, I can tell you that. A major headline here says, 200 families displaced as NAF demolishes houses. Just the subtitle there says, Presidential Fleet. Presidential Fleet is a subtitle, and 200 families displaced as NAF demolishes houses. Now, I want to see how this connects, the subtitle and the major headline. Let's find out what the writer is saying. Soldiers deployed in sight. Property owners demand compensation. FG keeps mum. Now, you want to see how all this tie up? Well, just go to page 2 of the Punch. Let's see here. Just above the middle strip, this one says, I will build on foundation laid by Obaseki. That's coming from Igodalo. This is talking about Edo. Yeah. Yes, Edo. Lots of politicking going on right there. Below that, you have PDP, APC, others signed peace accord September 12th. That's it. Talking about the upcoming Edo gubernatorial election. And above the masthead, Governor's Job Bazaar. States' wages rise by 900 billion naira. That's what's sticking again. Governor's Jobs Bazaar. States' wages rise by 900 billion naira. Right beside that story, Tinubu okays 50% electricity subsidy for hospital others.
I saw this yesterday, and it was mixed feelings for me, but because of our time, I won't dwell on it. Right.
Also, above the masthead, you have NYSC bars poly graduates without IT experience. Page 32 has details of that story.
Page 12, you mean?
Oh, I beg your pardon, page 12. Thank you, Sarah. We have this picture here, the same one we saw on the front page of the Daily Trust of Ajero, surrounded by his legal team. You have Femi Falana, Deji Adeyanju there. You also have, let's see there's a caption. It says, Ajero honors police summons false terrorism allegation. Let's see where you can get details of that particular story. I think is page 26. That's where you can get details of that story. Below that, you have no work, no pay, threat won't stop strike. That's coming from resident doctors. I take it again. Resident doctors are saying no work, no pay, threat won't stop strike. Below that, this one says buttock enlargement doctor. Buttock enlargement doctor declared wanted as client dies during surgery.
I saw the story yesterday, and I was so disturbed. Apparently, she went for a Brazilian butt lift, and according to her driver, a nurse gave her an injection, after which she became uneasy and she passed on before the driver went to report the situation.
This is very, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But page 4 and 5's got details of that one. Yeah. Again, the caption is buttock enlargement. Doctor declared wanted as client dies during surgery. Last but not least, on the front page of the Punch, Canada ends a visitor to work permit policy. Page 28 has details of that story, and it's a wrap for us on the front page of the Punch.
We move very, very swiftly to the Guardian newspaper. This one says, living in Abuja, the making of a capital city of gross inequality, rags and riches is on big story, pages 4 and 5. I'm interested in this. I'll get into the details later. Just away from that, federal government gives traders 1 month to crash prices of goods. That's on news page 30. Government increases SUBEB matching grants to 3.5 billion naira. You get details on page 7. Afe Babalola cautions against 18 years limit for WAEC and NECO, trending story on page 28. This is EKEDC explains disconnection of Unilag after 180 million naira payment. I'm interested. It's on page 7. Foreign inflow down by 57.22% as investors appraise portfolio. You get all of the details on business page 16. Over 55,910 civilians killed in Nigeria in 4 years. That's according to reports. NLC President Joe Ajaero vows to fight on, says police invitation mere distraction to labor struggles. You're interested in this? It's on page 6, Guardian newspaper. And lastly, doctors strike. Federal government threatens to invoke no work, no pay rule. That's on page 3. We took that on all the papers as well. But that wraps it up on the review of the front pages of the newspapers this morning. We'll take a break. When we're back, we'll delve into the conversation with our guests and take on other stories. We'll be right back.
Well, if you just joined us, you are welcome aboard. It's the Breakfast Cafe right here on High Impact TV. Sarah and Vivian in the house. This is the second part of the newspaper review, and right now we are going to be joined by Sheson Okunade. He is a public affairs analyst. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Vivian. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning to all our listeners across the globe. Glad to be here this morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us. So, we took a look at this, headline on the front page of the Daily Trust, and Sarah raised lots of valid points. I'd love to run that by you. Nigerians paid 1.04 billion naira ransom to kidnappers in 1 year. That's a report done by the Daily Trust. Now, one of the writer is from the AIG, former AIG, who said credible intelligence lacking. Sarah now asked, so these payments, this, ransom paying and taking, can it not be traced by the intelligence to these terrorists? But let me not put words in your mouth. What's your take on this story?
Well, thank you very much, Vivian. It's a valid question raised by Sarah on the issue of we having valid intelligence gathering on some of those things. Don't forget we have certain parameters being set by the government which identify individuals when it comes to financial transactions. We've had the issue of BVN, we've had the issue of NIN, and some other things to track activities. Of how money are being withdrawn and how they are being paid to individual. Let's even say peradventure those money are not paid into individual's account. But when somebody made suspicious withdrawal, you need to raise alarm and ask questions what those things are actually meant for. You discover that some of us have said it, and you heard Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala saying that the politicians are actually weaponizing this insecurity of the thing.
Yes.
What we lack when it comes to this problem is the political will on the part of our leaders, because certain set of people are actually benefiting from it. If you go way back, you discover that during the electionary campaign, there seems to be a little calm with the gathering of so many people across the states, and you never heard of any of the politician or their followers being kidnapped at that point in time. Or you ask yourself, after the conclusion of the election, what suddenly happened that it becomes, you know, a reoccurring decimal that will wake up every day to not hear that this person is being kidnapped, and you hear of so much numbers. You heard about the kidnapping of over 200 people the last time, and you ask, if in front of your office 100 people march, just let's use the spiritual connotation where you have evangelism, if 100 people gather to move on your street, you will definitely know that something strange is happening. So how can you have over 200 people being moved from a community and nobody is able to nip it by the bud? I think the major problem we are faced with here is that certain people who are meant to actually check activities are not doing what is needful, and there are no consequences for wrongdoing. We've had a situation where the security agency will speak to us that some of these guys that are perpetrating this ill, you are able to release the captives, but where are the captors? What happened to them? We've not had, you know, anyone saying that we've been able to apprehend this, we've been able to punish this, we've been able to kill this, even though some of my legal friends will say, so you are not a lawyer, this is a democracy, capital punishment cannot be offered to them. But I feel we can go the issues way, because what that does is that it will serve as deterrent to others who is actually considering. You see, they've made this a business venture, and it's quite alarming because it's affecting the daily business. People travel far and wide to carry out business. You know, we are interdependent on one another. You can go to the east to do your business, to the north, and you know, it's not everybody that wants to fly. You just want to go via the road so that you can connect from one state to the other and carry out your business. But that is really not happening because of the level of insecurity. Even, you see, people like me, I enjoy traveling at night, years back. But I dare not even try to during the day. Exactly. People will ask you, are you on a suicide mission that you just want to, you know, just get yourself off the road? So I think government needs to be intentional. We need to just look through some of the problems that we are faced with. Let's even bring to justice some of those that we have actually, you know, picked up to be perpetrator of some of this evil, and not just shading very few people that will feel that they've not done anything. The might that we put behind criminals that will pick on the road, can we put it on people that we consider to be bandits and terrorists, that we actually take away some of? You can imagine the humongous money that you've just said, 1.04 billion.
Yeah, but let me interrupt you for a bit, so let me interrupt you for a bit. You know, you mentioned that let them actually catch some of these people. I recall that there have been times where they've said, oh, some persons have been apprehended, and then we started to have conversation around repentant terrorists. They said some of them were repentant and they reintegrated them into the system. I have two questions for you. What is, so far that has not turned out very great. What is your perspective on reintegrating these repentant bandit, terrorists, kidnappers, what have you, and the conversation surrounding ransom? Do you actually think that is the way to go? Because sometimes people pay ransom and their loved ones, they don't actually get them back. They actually kill them sometimes, or they just don't hear from them. Those are my two questions. What is your perspective on reintegrating these repentant kidnappers or terrorists back into the system, and what's your perspective on ransom, paying ransom as a whole?
Yeah, thank you very much, Sarah. Let me start from the real issue that has to do with ransom payment. Let me just say that we don't fall victim of this act. If you hear any of anyone with their loved ones being kidnapped, you don't mind the length at which you need to go to get them out, even when you're fighting. You become devastated when they put a call through to you. You try everything within your reach, because they will tell you that blood is thicker than water. Absolutely. You just want them out at all costs, whatever it will be. We've seen instances where people will say, the security people, please don't interfere, we'll manage the situation ourselves, because we feel that when you interject with the threat issued out by those people, they might kill our loved ones. But we can look for a way to raise the money, because you just want them around you, and you just don't want to stay. So that's why I feel that this issue of ransom being paid is because of the love we have for one another. And the devastating position that you put yourself when you hear that your loved ones are actually being attacked or being kidnapped is what pushed us to that.
But isn't that enabling them? Isn't that some sort of enablement for the kidnappers one way or the other, because they feel like they would eventually
well, for those of us who are not in their shoe, we might consider it as an enabler. For those in the shoe, is a way out for them to get their loved one back to themselves. And that's why we feel that if the security agency are actually out there, we should be proactive to even curb the menace from happening, not happening and looking. I can tell you this. You look at the perspective of ransom being paid. Do you know the psychological trauma that you made that captor, the captive, to undergo at that particular time? That's why when they bring back some of these young ones that are actually being, in captive, you have to go through psychological treatment in such a way to reintegrate. And you've seen some of them come up to say they don't even mind to go back to where you think that they should come out from because of certain things that they enjoy in that area. They don't see themselves as being captive, rather they see themselves having fun and enjoying themselves, even far away from where they are supposed to be. So I think it's the position of the family or the people that their family are actually being kidnapped. They just want everything all out to get them out. It's not, they are not enabling them. If the security agency are proactive to make sure that we nip those things at the bud, I think it will not be something that will be discussed. On the area of reintegrating back the repentant terrorists, it's quite interesting. Sarah, I'm sure you know my position on this. I've never been an advocate of people reintegrating back. You see, I always tell individuals, forgiveness is of the Lord and not of human. When you have killed by the sword, you should go by the sword. These people have actually been indoctrinated into some of these acts, and that's what they do. You see, when you reintegrate them back into the system, they weaponize them by making them to be informants to those that are actually still perpetrating that act. You see, if you are in a particular business and they even pull you out of it, you still have the techniques, you have the skill, because you've actually been trained. These are not people that are actually taken into that place for 1 day or for 2 days. They've been there for years, and all of a sudden, it's just a strategy on their part, if you ask me, to say, let's release some of our people out, and let them be informant that will get us some of those things. It's just like you saying that somebody who is in the ends of this act of drugs, and you say suddenly say he's no longer taking drugs. He has taken it. You know how it looks like. He can always give information to the people that are actually taking it and guide them to say, see, we are outside. We can hear what people are saying. Watch out. So, and information is very fundamental. And that's why some of us feel that these people are being emboldened because they now have their own amidst the community, amidst the society, who give them information about individuals that are actually being kidnapped this day. And that's why people like me have said, if these people allude to the fact that they've perpetrated this act, rather than saying they've repented, let them go and have their judgment before God. It is just give capital punishment. When you reduce the number, what that does, when people come out and say this is democracy, but somebody is owning up to say, I have perpetrated this act, I'm repenting, that's enough commitment to say, I have done it. You who kill by the sword should go by the sword. When you do that, what you have done is that you have reduced the number of people that are actually carrying out that act, and it sends signal to those that might be considering that to say, if I'm actually being killed, does it worth it for me to lose my life at this early age? Because you discover that they recruit younger generation, 13, 15, 18, indoctrinate them into this act to say, if you're able to do this, this is what you get. And after 4 or 5 years, they say, okay, now that you are a full-fledged, don't let me use the cadre that we have in the military. You are a full-fledged man that understands our operation. Let's just use the gimmick to say you are now a repentant person, somebody who understands how to carry gun, somebody who knows how to actually manipulate people, and you are saying he suddenly repented. Let God confirm that. By the time you send him to God, he can actually confirm whether he has repented or not. And that will reduce the number of those people that we have in the environment perpetuating this ill. I have to, you see, when this thing started, it looked small, but now it has grown to the level that it's becoming something that is difficult for us to manage. But we will now look at it as something we just have to live with. It shouldn't be, and
Absolutely
there must be
not.
decisive decision on the part of the government on that.
All right, I think this is a well-flogged issue. We've really talked about it. It's well-rounded. So let's switch some gears here. There's this other story too on the front page of the Daily Trust. It says FG slams no work, no pay policy on resident doctors who are threatening to go on strike. Now, this is a recurring issue. Resident doctors go on strike. The federal government slams them with a threat. What's your take on this, though?
Sincerely speaking, when it comes to strike and federal government, I always ask myself, how did we get here? There are certain things the federal government makes as commitment to some of these medical practitioners. You and I are part of it. And I ask, when you sign a document, when you sign an agreement, it's based on trust. A lot of them return back to work because they have trust and confidence in the government. But when it comes to implementation, you discover that the whole sum of what you are committed to, you might just see them doing like 20%, 30%, and say we are working on others for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and the likes. And it doesn't speak well. I think everyone deserves that respect from the government. If you are not going to actually abide by the agreement, you know, there's a way you can make them understand the reason why those things are actually why those things cannot be fulfilled, and not just endorsing those things and at the middle of the game will revert back that those things are not achievable. You expect them to actually revert back, and the only language I think the workers have seen government listen to is when they go on strike. So I want to say that it's not something that is welcome, because it is the common man that will suffer it. You see, currently as we speak, even health is unaffordable to common man.
Absolutely.
You see, it has turned to be a prayer point that you don't even fall sick.
Yeah.
If you have ordinary flu, I know what it cost the last time that I had that. I asked myself, is it beyond this small flu that you're talking about? The cost of drugs has skyrocketed to where it is. Even for you to have access to a medical practitioner that will give you the right thing. You can see one of your headlines that you're reading of a medical doctor that actually administer one thing on his client, and today it's no more. So you can see, if you are in the hands of wrong person who doesn't understand the dynamics of the profession, because we know we have quacks who actually feel that they have little understanding of this and they are out there ravaging. And this at the period they lashed on the opportunity to actually exonerate, kill people, if you allow me to use that word. Because then somebody who is not trained is actually promoting himself as someone who has the understanding, is killing. I just feel that the federal government needs to, abide by their commitment. When you sign something, those days when we're in the financial institution, you say you are putting your blood. You can't deny your blood when you put your signature. It's a commitment that we both sat down to agree to this and we executed. Enough of we changing goalposts at the middle of the game when these people have actually given them. Because I know it will now resort to blackmail on the part of the citizen to say, our workers, at least they promise you 10. They've done 3 now. Why don't you don't have human feeling? Do we have feelings for them? They too, they have families, they have certain things. And I don't think what they are requesting for is out of scope as committed to by the federal government.
Right, very, very true. Safe place to land. Just before we wrap it up with you this morning, would like to tap from your wealth of knowledge as an economic expert now. Exploitative pricing. Federal government gives traders 1 month notice to crash prices. This is coming from the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Agency, giving traders and other stakeholders involved in exploitative pricing to crash the prices of their goods. We know that in recent times, the price of goods and commodities has skyrocketed a lot. But this notice coming, I'd like to get your thoughts on this and how this can be achieved from your economic angle.
Thank you very much, Sarah. The first question I ask is, where is the price control agency of the government to even monitor the activity. I remember in Lagos, the state aspect of it at the time, go to the market, to the mall, enforce the aspect of saying you need to tag those prices, because you discover that you buy something today, tomorrow you get it. When you get to the paying point, they would have even charged you. I remember a few months back, I did that in the public domain to say I got a particular thing for like 4,000 naira, and I was there like 3 weeks back, and I was thinking in the same price. I was on an interview on my phone, so the lady was just capturing everything. I did not even check. All I did was to give her my card, and I was caught a bit with like, why are you charging me this? And I looked at it, what I bought for 4,000, because there was no price tag. I saw it for 12,500, and I'm like, wow. And I got two of that particular thing. If I had known, I didn't even check that until when I started looking at those things. And I came to the public domain to say, can we have some of these more so that you can see the price before you actually pick some of those things, and it's swing into action. You see, this order by federal government, you can control things that you invest in. Like I saw Lagos State coming up to say they are reinstating the 25% discount on the Oúnjẹ Èkó. It's because they have input into it. What is the government input in some of these goods and services we're talking about? And every businessman will sell what he's buying, even though we know certain set of people are exploiting. But the truth remains that the agency must be up and running to actually have control over what is actually being priced. But the government needs to go extra mile, because the foreign exchange, we are not producing anything locally. A lot of our products are actually being imported, and you cannot just stand by the foreign exchange cost, as to speak. It's on the other side, and it is, if you see an average businessman, they will tell you it's what they buy that they are selling. You need to just see what the import duty is all about. We've had government come to talk about the issue of removing import duty on food consumption. I've asked, why are we importing food when we can work on security, our insecurity, to make sure that we produce those things locally and release the burden? Because when you are importing those foods, it is foreign exchange that you're actually putting pressure on those that need it. These are things that you can produce domestically, but you have actually opened the shop to bring in some of those food as a relief measure, and it's already putting pressure on foreign exchange. Those that actually need it for other areas are not having access to it because you are concentrating on bringing food. So I feel an area I need the government to actually address is, how do we actually increase our agricultural produce by doing mechanized farming? We have vast land, we have vast area. How can we take some of the people that we are actually considering as inmates, take them to the farmland, make use of them? These are what are obtainable in in Asian country. They don't just keep people and they feed on you on daily basis. You use them, you make use of them to be productive. Take them to the farm, have mechanized farming, use them productively to contribute to the bottom line of the economy, and with that we can grow our economy, not them just eating so much large on you. I think that is the route to go. For me, forcing people to crash the price when you don't have a contribution to the bringing down of the prices will not work. The FCCP can go a route of monitoring some of those, but you can only do that to the more. How about the people in the open market? How much of it can you control? So these are areas I feel that we just need to work with. And if the government is decisive in some of the things that they are doing, I think we'll be better for it as a nation.
All right. Thank you so much, Sheson Okwade. Very, very insightful conversation there, I must say. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us this morning on some of the headlines. Thank you.
It's always a good time to start the weekend with the two beautiful ladies in the studio. And I can always just wish you a very wonderful weekend to you and to all our viewers.
Thank you so much. We wish you the very same. Thank you. All right. We're flustered, the compliment here and there. But, Sheson Okwade really, hit the nail on the head, talking about this conversation around exploitative pricing. Yeah. And I recall, that period where the FCCP came out to talk about how they were going to conduct a raid on supermarkets that don't have their price tags. That thing can be very, very annoying, if I could use that word. You pick up a product, you don't see the price, when you get to the front desk, you are being told a ridiculous price. So there needs to be some sort of action from the part of the government. And how do they also want to reach the open market as well?
The clincher for me was, you know, Sheson saying that the federal government must leverage on mechanized farming. That's it. That does it for me. And on that note, we'll wrap this segment up. We'll take a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues. Stay with us.
Something big is in town, something powerful and majestic, a mammoth creation destined to become a legend by all who encounter it. High Impact Planet, Nigeria's biggest family theme park, with facilities designed for friends, families or large groups under a relaxing atmosphere. Be welcomed by wowing displays of animatronics, thrill out with realistic arcade games, or enjoy a number of thrilling heart-racing park rides. Experience the 5D and 12D cinemas and challenge your mates with bumper cars and go-kart races. Don't forget to slide into the ice rink or simply take time out to enjoy a pizza at our delightful restaurant and dessert spot, or at the exquisite club lounge. High Impact Planet, 12 Lagos Ibadan Expressway, Ibafo, opposite MFM Prayer City. Visit high-impactplanet.com for details and inquiries. Fun just got real.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity, let's help you take it high.
And out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
Artless, artless, artless.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Cafe on High Impact Television. Vivian and I are still here, and we've taken the newspaper review, and this is the second half of the show, and this is where we take your views from the net. This part of the conversation, we throw out a question, and we have you send in your comment and your contribution, and you also call us to share your thoughts. And the question for today is, what was the most outrageous lie you believed as a child? You know, we have a couple of comments here, but you can also be a part of the conversation. Do well to call us 0812-182-0154. I take that again, 0812-182-0154. What was the most outrageous lie you believed as a child? Before I throw it to Vivian, let me state mine.
Yeah.
It would have to be, there are a couple of them,
okay,
but I will just say this one. This conversation around tooth fairies. Now, I was told that when my tooth falls off, I should put it under my pillow, and when I do, the tooth fairy is going to come, take my tooth, and drop some money. And I actually believed. And the funny thing is, I did it. And I woke up, and at that time, I saw a 20 naira note under my pillow. So I was very happy. I believe that, oh yes, tooth fairies exist, and my tooth has gone, but I have money. And then another time, another one removed. They said this time around, I should throw it on the roof, and he would give me money. But he didn't give me money. Tooth fairy didn't give me money. And I remember crying so hard that tooth fairy didn't like me anymore, only to find out years later that it was my brother
that dropped the
20 naira under my pillow, and there was nothing like tooth fairy whatever come. I was so pained because I believed this with all of my being, honestly. But if I were to ask you, Vivian,
I can't remember though. I can't really, for the life of me, I can't remember.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah, I just need something to spark the memory. So in the course of the show, eventually,
they didn't tell you not to whistle at night. Growing up, they always tell me, don't whistle at night, you're going to invite snakes.
No.
And I believed it so much that I would even, at that time, I just started learning how to all around. And my brother and my sister would tell me, no, you're going to invite snakes. And the most popular one, I think we have a couple of it in the comments. So let me just hold my thought on that. But do well to be a part of the conversation. 0812-182-0154. For Vivian, you want to kick off with the first comment?
Yes, I begin with Femi from London, who says, I was told that if I spit on the ground and another person steps on it, I will have I'll have a sore in my throat. That is Femi from London.
Actually, yeah, I heard that too. But this is Chukwuemeka from Jos, and Chukwuemeka says, I believe that my shadow was a separate entity that would get me in trouble if I didn't behave. My mom would say, your shadow is watching you.
This is weird.
Okay, this is the first time I'm actually hearing this. Yeah. You know, I've never heard of that. All I've heard is, oh, don't be faster than your shadow, and all of that. But that's a new one.
It's a new one, and it's a good one. Thank you for sharing, Chukwuemeka. This one says, my mom, Adora, told me that the moon was a giant plate of jollof rice, and if I didn't finish my food, the moon will be sad. Uche from Benin. Gosh, this is
that was a tactic to make Uche
eat more.
Because there are children that do not like to eat, so you have to look for means to make sure that they eat their food. But that would have been great. I think I'm learning one or two things that I can tell my kids.
Oh gosh.
They did it to us. Shouldn't we do it to them as well? I think we should. But let us know your thoughts. What is that one outrageous lie you believed as a child? 0812-182-0154. This next comment says, I thought that the wind was my grandfather's voice whispering secrets to me. My mom would say the wind is carrying messages. This is Chinonso from Lagos. Chinonso, thank you for your comment. I'm hearing new things.
These are very interesting contributions. Thank you guys for sharing. This one says, my mom said that the river was a giant snake that would swallow me if I went near it alone. I would never go near water. I'll never go near water bodies. This is Kenechuku from Aja.
I like that the mom said that to actually scare him from going close to water.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that was a protective measure, because when children hear things like that, they
stay
panic.
back. Yeah.
You know, I remember one that I actually told my cousin, my baby cousin, because he was always everywhere. He would, like, he doesn't, when you want to feed him, he'll be crying and all of that. And I remember telling him then, there was this doll in the house that if he doesn't comport, if he doesn't behave himself, the doll would actually stand up and beat him.
Gosh.
I was such a what's the word now? I don't want to say wicked, but no.
Yeah, but did it work?
And you see him, once I say, oh yeah, doll, he will just keep quiet and sit down. Till today, he doesn't. In fact, he has sisters, and because of that, their mom doesn't actually buy, because he's scared. He believes, somehow he still believes that dolls have some sort of life in them, you know. But I'm sorry. If you're watching this, I'm very, very sorry. But let's take the next comment. This one says, my mom usually says to me that the stars were diamonds scattered across the sky, and if I wished upon one, it would come true. Ebube from Lagos. Mothers. Sometimes I wonder how our parents or grandparents come up with these things.
Yeah.
You just hear something that you're like,
Very creative people.
I'm waiting for that one that applied to almost everyone that I know. I know it's in the comments because I saw it.
Yeah, but do you believe the one about shooting stars, you know, if you say shooting star and you make a wish, it will come true?
Well, the one, I don't know about that. There are a lot of them. I have also heard people say when the time is like 11:11, like 11 minutes past 11, 12 minutes past 12, 10 minutes past 10. All those that when you make a wish, it comes true. So I know people that once they check their phone and it's, let's say 10:10, they silently mutter a wish, but they believe that it would come true.
Gosh. Well, let's find out what Taiwo from Lagos is saying. Taiwo said, I believe that the masquerade was a real person who would take me away if I misbehaved. Something is missing. My mom would say the masquerade is watching. This is Taiwo from Lagos. Thank you so much, Taiwo.
Fun fact, or one thing about me is I'm scared of masquerade till today. I was at Yaba a few weeks back. I wanted to buy something and I had to take, there's a pedestrian bridge, and I think there's a new tactics that these masquerades, they are not real masquerades.
Yeah, because you really see their legs,
like
and
these ones are even just guys trying to hustle, but they've come up with a new, I don't know if anybody has stumbled on them, they've come up with a new tactic where they wear outfit of a masquerade. They are not masquerades, you know, and there were like 3 on that bridge. I was walking with somebody, and the moment I sighted them, I had to run. I was like, calm down. And the unfortunate thing is, one of them now had to, maybe they saw the fear.
Yeah, that's it.
And I literally screamed. And he was like, he said it in Yoruba, we don't want to harm you, just give us something. And my friend was like, just go, just go, just go. I literally screamed. I froze because I don't like them at all. Whether you are real, whether it's fake, whether it's costume, or I don't like them for anything. I don't even want to have a reason to be on their part. No.
Gosh. Even when you see their hands and their legs. And
I am not interested.
Oh, Lord.
Even if it's just the costume, I don't want to see it. And I've been scared. In fact, I'm always having a headache. Anytime I think about the fact that sometimes I need to actually go to that side, I'm like, I hope I don't see them. You know, and I was not the only one that was scared. I actually saw people that were scared too.
So it's not just you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, let's take this next comment. This one says, when it's raining and my mom does not want to see us outside, she usually says that the thunder is the sound of God's drum. And if we didn't behave as we ought to, would get into trouble. This is Queen from Great Yaba Tech. That's a very amazing technique.
Yeah.
I don't want you out in the rain. See, that thunder is God's drum. If you don't behave yourself,
you might get struck. Wow. Well, I got Arinze from Lagos who says, I thought that the night was dark because the world was covered with a big blanket. And if I pulled it off, I would see the sun. Arinze from Lagos. Okay.
Arinze, That's a big one there, I must say. But do not forget to be a part of the conversation. 0812-182-0154 is the number to call. What is that one outrageous lie you believed as a child? This next comment is Obina from Lagos, and Obina says, my mom, Uchechi, said that the forest was inhabited by magical creatures who would guide me if I listened to my heart. Obina from Lagos, thank you for sharing that with us.
All right, Kayode from Egbeda said, I was told that the rain was the tears of the gods. And if I prayed hard enough, the sun will come out. That's Kayode again from Egbeda.
Right, let's take this next one. This is Damilola from Lagos. We've taken something similar. If I spit on the floor and someone steps on it, I would have sore throats. Damilola from Lagos. A curious part of me wants to actually try that. The one I know, yes, another one I know, is if a pregnant woman is lying down. I heard that growing up.
Oh, I heard it.
If a pregnant woman is lying down and you cross over her, their child will
look like you.
So then I had aunties, neighbors, when they're pregnant, they're always very, and I'm like, when they are not the father of the child or what have you, how would you actually think that the child will look like them? I don't know, when you're not related.
Then I have Damilola from Lagos again, and Dami says that my mom was keeping the money that others gave me for me. She'd always say she wants to save it up for me, and ended up not returning a penny. Damilola from Lagos. Dami, you are not alone.
I like to take the words out of my mouth. Dami, you are not alone, and then you start to hear things like, all the food you have been eating on call. The breast you suckled upon, I'm sorry, but those are the things we start to hear. In fact, these things are bringing back memories. They are bringing memories. But we have Ayo from Ikeja on the line. Thank you for joining us, Ayo. All right, we lost Ayo. 0812-182-0154. And I want to quickly talk on this one about returning money, because so many times you have visitors come into the house and they give you money. And no, let me keep it for you. Christmas is approaching or your birthday is approaching. The moment you make mistake and ask for the money, but you've been eating the last clothes I bought for you, this. In fact, I was so when I became a little bit mature, my siblings were always telling me some of the things that happened. We have Ayo from Ikeja. Thank you for joining us again, Ayo. Tayo.
I'd like to contribute to your program.
All right, go ahead, please.
Yes, when I was growing up, if for instance a friend of mine came to my house probably late in the night, my dad used to tell me that any friend that moves around in the night would never be successful in his life. Oh. That was the myth I was told.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a new one.
Thank you for sharing, Tayo.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Tayo. I've never heard that before.
This is the first time.
I think all of us should go and check. I want to quickly share this. And my siblings were telling me, okay, there was a time we had visitors and they gave me 500 naira when I was still little. And they collected the 500 naira, they put it on the table, and they took 2 5 naira notes, and they said, which one do I want? And I actually said I wanted I pointed at the 2 5 naira because it was 2.
Oh my God.
They said they did that a lot to get money from me the days where I didn't know anything, and they'll take 500 naira and give me 10 naira because it was 2.
You see, his childhood is so sweet. Innocence is a sweet thing.
Honestly.
Oh, God.
Well, let's quickly take Norris. Norris from Delta says, this one tough. I'm not sure, say I experienced that part of life. Norris says this in Pidgin. My papa, they always lock us for inside house. Nobody tell me any lie safe. Now only my papa, they lie, say my mama no be good, man. But I don't even still believe. We're so sorry for that, Norris.
Wow.
We're so sorry for that.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say, so I'll just go on and read what Imole from Badagry says. Imole said, as a child, we were told to clean any line we draw on the floor, that if a fly lands in between it, that our mother will kick the bucket. Oh boy. After playing Suwe those years, come and see how we scatter the floor with our bare foot just to make sure we wipe off every single line drawn on the floor or more. I believe Amo. That's the mother from Badagry. Gosh, interesting.
Thank you for sharing. Their mother would kick the bucket. they would be serious about it.
That's a terrifying one.
Honestly, I must say. But let's quickly take Miriam from Lagos. And Miriam says, eating with big spoons will make your mouth wide. Can't even eat with them even now. It has stuck in Miriam's head. Miriam can never forget. But what's your definition of big spoons too? Not cooking spoon, no. It's not normal.
Yeah, man, but there are some funny looking spoons that are, that are wide. Don't dare it. Right. Well, I got Mojisola from Shomolu, and she says,
I've been waiting for.
Oh, really? Okay, let's find out. Mojisola says, the most outrageous lie I believed while I was young was that I was told if any man touches me, I would get pregnant. No wonder Sarah has been waiting for this one. Mojisola goes on to say that this was when I started menstruating. And the funny thing is I started running away from my male friends at school. It was very embarrassing. It took my close friend to explain in explicit terms that it's only sex that can make me pregnant, not a man touching me. Our parents did the most. Them good day out fear for person mind.
They put fear.
Okay, they put fear for person mind. This is Mojisola from Shomolu.
If you're a lady and you didn't hear this, then you must be very lucky.
Yeah.
Because it was like a national anthem. The moment you reach that puberty age and you start menstruating, the next thing your mother tells you is once a man should touch you, you're pregnant.
You know, we laugh about this, but it's really not funny. It took her friends to educate her. So it's important for parents to, you know, what's it called? Sexual education.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make them understand what exactly can lead to that. Not you start to withdraw from your friends.
Like Mojisola.
So it's important to set it right. This Josephine from Scotland also has a comment in that regard. The same thing. As a child, I believe that once you start menstruating and you allow a male touch you physically, you will get pregnant instantly. That lie was so outrageous that I stayed off boys for a very long time until I got proper sex education. I know schools are doing all they can to properly educate both genders about sex education, but parents also, I know it's in a bid to, you know, make the girl child abstain and do the right thing, but it's also misinformation. Let them understand things properly. It's been an insightful one on our views from the net segment. I'm sure you had a good time, just as we had a good time talking about this. You want to look out for what we have in store for you on Monday. But we'll take a break now. When we are back, we'll move into another segment. We'll be right back.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity, let's help you take it high.
And out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
As a child, what is most important to you is love, warmth, acceptance, and security. But as you grow, there is a paradigm shift in the way you approach life. The interest you lose in some things, you pick in other things. Sometimes, the road is smooth. Other times, it is rough. Every step of the way comes with a new hurdle to scale. You win some, you lose some. You laugh hard, you cry hard, but at the end, you look back with a fulfilling smile and say, what a ride. High Impact Television equips you with what you need every step of the way.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Cafe on High Impact Television. We've taken our views from the net, and right now we're moving to another important segment. This morning we'll be talking about something very, very important, and it says strategies for creating realistic budgets and forecasts. Now, creating realistic budgets and forecasts is a crucial step in effective financial management. It involves setting achievable financial goals and targets based on a thorough understanding of past performance, current trends, and future expectations. Now, this process starts with tracking historical data and identifying patterns and anomalies in income and expenses. Now, by analyzing this data, organizations can make informed decisions about resource allocation, prioritize spending, and identify areas for cost saving. Now, to have this conversation with us, we're joined virtually by Honorable Adelosoye Maxwell Ademola. He's the Vice Chairman Ondo Southwest LCDA. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Honorable.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. So we're talking about something very important, strategies for creating realistic budgets and forecasts. But let's kick off with the first question this morning. What is in your perspective, what is your approach to creating a realistic budget for local development areas? What is the best approach for this?
Well, good morning once again. My name is I do so much. I'm clear. I'm audible enough.
Yes, absolutely. We can hear you.
Okay. Well, the strategy we adopt locally is simple. We get every stakeholders involved. The ministry, the career officers, and alongside us. So that's how we prepare the budgets.
Okay.
So we gather previous data. We look at the past history, the projects that were supposed to be done before that were not done, that are in line with our goals. We bring everything together. So that is how we'll do it, basically.
Okay, but putting this side by side, how do you now ensure that the budget you are creating, is in line with the community's needs and priorities? How do you ensure this?
The most important thing when setting up a budget is having clear goals. Every administration has a mandate. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we have a proper mandate, and at the local level, there are things expected of us. We can't be budgeting to build a overhead bridge when we have small roads, when we have health centers, when we have markets, to build. So whatever we are doing, it's in line with our core mandate, which is basically on the strategic development goals.
Okay.
So that's basically what we do.
Okay.
And of course, that will be in line with the goal of the governor, the goal of what the local people need, and what is in line with strategic development goals.
All right, so in this day and age where there are demands left, right, and center for accountability and transparency, what methods do you then use to track historical data and identify trends in spending and revenue generation?
Well, there is a tracking mechanism that involves just beyond apart from. These days and age, like you said, technology is involved. Definitely. Now, then there is a body that is in charge of budget monitoring and implementation. The first thing is preparing for the budget. Second thing is getting approval with the legislators. Then the fourth level is application and appropriation of the budget. Then after that one, then someone has to still implement. Someone has to supervise. Someone has to ensure that the due diligence is done. So we have all those mechanisms as we have in the federal and state level. We also have it at the local level to ensure that this project you guys said you are doing, and you allocated money for, has it been done? So if it has been done, to what extent? You understand? So there is implementation that is monitoring at all levels, and at this age and time, technology is also being deployed at all levels.
Right.
To ensure the goal, we get the exact target.
Absolutely.
That we set also.
Now, we understand the importance of involvement, involvement of everyone that is concerned. Now, I'd like to ask you, how do you engage with stakeholders, such as community members, as well as local businesses in this budgeting process to ensure there's adequate involvement of those that matter?
The key to successful government is engagement, especially at local level, and that is why the local government came into. That's why the local government came into. That's why the local government is essential in development, because number one, it's very difficult for the federal government even to go to the local people and bring them in for engagement. But what we do basically is to look at the exact needs of the people. So there's no way we can know the exact needs of the people. Apart from the fact that we live with them, we are also from the community and we are closer to the people. But at least because we are closer to the people, we have the ability and the opportunity to know firsthand their problem. So, for instance, now let me give you an instance. My CDA is in a local, it's mostly in a very rural community, an agrarian society. So I know fully well that the challenges facing them is more of how to get the farm inputs out and creating a market for their product. So, and I also know that there is timing where you can do those things. For instance, now we are talking about grading of roads. Now we know that to grade the rural roads is best suitable for the end of the year when the rains have stopped. So you cannot grade roads during the core rainy season.
Absolutely.
I'm bringing those instances for you to understand that there's nothing we do at local level without thorough knowledge of the challenges of the people. You know, you don't go and create health center where there is no need for health center, where you abandon health center, where you abandon market when there is need for market. You understand? So whatever we are doing, we carry the people along, because we are part of the people. We are important critical stakeholders, and the essence of the local government is to identify those needs. You know, it might be difficult for people in the state and the federal to know what the people really need, but people at the local level, it's our job to identify those because we are closer to the people. So there is nothing we do at the local level that we don't carry the community along.
I'm glad that you talked about carrying everyone along. Now, this past weeks, state governments have had to create internally displaced persons camps because of flooding. So this is my question. What strategies do you employ to identify and mitigate potential risks and uncertainties in your budgeting processes?
No, we can't do it. You know, we have to prepare for these natural disasters. We have to prepare for these external factors. You know, if you create a budget without the external factors and this possibility of events, the budget is set to fail. So in our budget, we factor in the possibility of these occurrences.
Okay.
But however, all in collaboration with the emergency teams, you know, the state emergency management authority and the other relevant authorities, we always ensure that we make provisions for incidents like this. So in case it happens, of course, we have a budget for it. And let's not forget, there's always an emergency fund and a contingency fund in the budget. So they are to consider, they are to take care of these natural occurrences that we cannot control.
Very, very true. You know, one of the things that are important for any form of administration, whether at the local, state or federal level, is transparency and accountability. You know, it is very key. Now, how do you ensure transparency and accountability in your budgeting and financial management practices to ensure that there's no loophole anywhere whatsoever? All right, so we lost the call with Honorable Maxwell.
But that was a very important question.
Yeah, we hope that we have him on, you know, in a moment too, because I understand that the place of transparency and accountability cannot be thrown away. Everybody wants a government where they can hold accountable, even away from government, in every form of relationship. People want to have people that they can hold accountable. But we have Honorable Maxwell back on the line. Thank you for joining again.
Thank you.
I'll repeat my question. Now, how do you ensure transparency and accountability in your budgeting and financial management practices?
You see, corruption in public service is the main bane of underdevelopment in this country. We cannot hide away from it, but I will categorically state this now, what most people don't want to hear. You see, the problem with the people might look, people erroneously, I'm not saying the politicians are sent, But people erroneously assume that all the problems of this country start with the politicians. But from my experience in government and how things work, you need to look deep into the public service and civil servants to know exactly where these problems are coming from. Because ideally, the politicians just implement. They just do the policies. The hand that implement are the civil servants and the public servants. So but as politicians now, we are now wiser in the sense that most of us now ensure that, you know, at the end of the day, it will be our name that will be on the people's sleeves that Sheba, you know, they didn't do that. So we are now, we are not leaving the civil servants and public servants to implement alone. So nowadays we are following up, we are monitoring and ensure that the right thing is done.
Okay.
So that is why we are also, it's not, you know, it don't only be the executive. The executive is part of this, the state, the local legislators is part of it. And I'm happy that with the autonomy of the local government coming up, there will be more power residing with the council authorities to be able to ensure that the right thing is done and people who err on their part are appropriately dealt with. So on our part, we do our due diligence. We ensure that we monitor, and so at least we're not leaving any stone unturned. So it will be difficult for anybody to steal or divert what is meant for the people under my watch.
Yeah. All right. As we slowly cruise to the end of this segment now, this is my question. What are some key performance indicators? It's called KPIs. What are the KPIs, you know, you use to measure the effectiveness of budgeting and forecast?
You know, the key problem with the budgeting and forecast we experience around there is mostly funding.
Aha.
So yeah, it's mostly funding. So you know, you can have the budgeting then. No, we ensure we create realistic budgets.
Okay.
You understand? But the key is but funding is essential also. So most of the time, by the time maybe if funding arrives on time, maybe then funding arrives, maybe the project may have been delayed to some extent. But the base time remains that we try as much as possible to be as effective as possible. So when the funding comes, we'll make sure. So the way we do our KPIs, the way we weigh our performances is you know, when you are on the project. For instance, maybe this project is supposed to engulf say 10 million, but I'm giving out 3, 4, 5 million. We'll see where the 5 million is supposed to get to now. You know, as we are building something, you know. So that is how we look at it.
All right.
Basically, so we track on our spending. So one way we measure our KPI is by effectively tracking
on
our spending.
So
to ensure that what we invest is what we get.
Okay.
You understand? Yes.
Tracking the spending, very, very important thing to do. On that note, we have come to the end of the conversation. We have exhausted our time. Thank you so much, Honorable Adelosoye Maxwell Ademola, for joining us this morning and for sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, we just had a conversation around creating budgets, realistic budgeting, and we had that conversation with Honorable Maxwell, and it was quite a good one, I must say. But we've come to the end of that segment. We're going into our games segment. I know this part excites our producer every time, but not to worry. We're calm.
Yeah.
We'll be back with our game segment. You want to stick around. Don't go anywhere.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity, let's help you take it high.
And out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
Alright, welcome back. This is our game segment, and I am aware we are playing an alphabet game, right? We have our papers with us, but let's see what our producer has for us. I learned I'm going first, so yeah, let's have it. Let's have it. I think so. Okay. I'm not panting, producer. Let's just do this. Some people, one of the Ibadan, Oyo State. Okay. No. It's fine. It's fine. Please let us put this out there. Whatever you see on the games is not a reflection.
I like it. Please. It's a disclaimer.
Let's just put it out there. So, Vivian, I think you're next.
Okay. Bring it on.
I like the energy. What's happening? Yeah. Don't kill our energy.
Largest planet in our...
Jupiter.
Okay.
You followed your alphabets.
Oh, okay. Oh, geez, I didn't even know.
So
the alphabet is supposed to be a
like a clue.
Oh, a clue.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for. I had no idea. Okay, fine.
All right. Let's see what I have. Kilometers. Is it kilometers?
Yeah, you get it.
Okay. Oh my days, yes, thank you for that. All right, let's see the next one. I think that's Vivian.
Oh, so it's supposed to start with L, right?
Yes.
Lincoln. Gosh, why did I forget?
Okay. You got it now.
Yeah, but the answer had come already.
Oh.
Yeah. But Abraham Lincoln, yeah? Why didn't you give me A on the alphabet?
They said they scattered it.
Oh, gosh.
So, okay,
yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking out for M. A person who dies for the... a martyr?
Yeah.
A martyr.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh my days.
Okay.
Oh my days, thank you. I am excited. This is the first time I'll get on the games. So.
It calls for celebration.
Right.
All right.
Let's see.
A popular Nigerian name, also the name of a prominent Nigerian. N. Gosh, there are thousands of names.
What? How? Wait, on a very serious note, there are a lot of names that are popular names that politicians also bear. So I think this is actually
I have no answer for them. I just shake my head.
Not fair. Yeah, because there are a lot of names actually. Olusegun is a name.
Yeah.
Right, but it's fine. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Liver football. Onions.
Yay.
Onions. Onions.
Right.
Thank you. Producer, I hope you are taking notes so that I will receive my prize at the end. I want 3 now. Just that bad one that I missed. I'm so pained.
No, but at least you got 3. All right, so what's the next one? A person who raises and cares for a child, often providing love. A parent?
Yeah, that should be.
Parent, no. It's not a parent.
It is. Woo! Give it up for Vivian.
Yeah.
You don't seem excited.
I mean, yeah, so yeah.
Let's see. I'm a bit, this one, I'm seeing Q here. Okay. A writing instrument with a point. A quill? Is it a quill or a quill or quill? Quill or quill? Quill. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm not here to play at all. So, yeah, 4 points on the board.
Yeah, you're counting.
Go. I'm counting because I told the producer if I win today, he's giving me a gift. So,
puff, to think back fondly on past memories, often with a sense of nostalgia. Is it S?
This is R. You're looking at R.
R.
Reminisce.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was going to say remember. Okay.
Your whatever is too fast, producer.
Okay, I think I have
Your
the letter
time.
S. Let's see. A day of the week. Oh, Sunday. Sunday. Saturday. Saturday or Sunday? Saturday. You know, the first thing that came to my head is Sunday.
Yeah.
Usually the day of rest.
Except you go to church.
Working and all. But yeah, so I have 5 points on the board. Please take note of that. Thank you. Right.
Yeah.
The flexible moving part of the mouth.
Teeth.
To aid speaking.
Tongue.
I think it's tongue. Tongue. See, I'm cheering you up. You're not. Smile. Come on, give it up for Vivian. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, I think we have how many more? 2 more. A portable device used to protect against umbrella. This is an umbrella. Yes, this is an thank you. 6 points on the board.
Yeah.
I hope my gift is on standby. All right, Vivian, you got this.
Okay.
Oh, I know this.
What's it called now? It's skipping me. You know, the machine, the vacuum, yeah.
The vacuum cleaner. So, producer, I've not announced this now.
It was good. It was good. Yeah.
Please, my prize. After the show, I'm coming for my prize. But this is the first time actually that I think the producers will actually be a little bit easy on us.
Yeah.
They are usually very tough on us, giving us countries to start with letter X and letter Z. But I think
it was
I
good.
think they're coming down.
Interesting
it was a good one,
too.
I must say. But that's it on our game segment. We hope you had fun. We do these games every Friday. And thank you for staying with us. But very quickly, let's give you weather forecast for today.
Yeah. All right, so if you are in Kano, it's going to be showers and rainfall, so do well to protect yourself. In Lagos, it's just going to be mainly cloudy, so I think we are safe for today. And this is where we get to call it wraps. It's been awesome from Monday to Friday. Thank you to everyone who made the show a great success, but the bigger thanks goes to you for watching. So until I come your way again next week, God willing, I am Vivian Uguche. Have a fantastic weekend.
And do not forget to follow us across all of our social media platforms at High Impact Studios, High Impact TV, and The Breakfast Cafe. I am Sarah Owusu-Ansah, and the next time you are going to be seeing my face, we're going to be saying Happy New Month. Have yourself a lovely and restful weekend. Bye-bye.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity, let's help you take it high.
And out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
Something big is in town. Something powerful and majestic. A mammoth creation destined to become a legend by all who encounter it. High Impact Planet, Nigeria's biggest family theme park with facilities designed for friends, families, or large groups under a relaxing atmosphere. Be welcomed by wowing displays of animatronics, thrill out with realistic arcade games, or enjoy a number of thrilling heart-racing park rides. Experience the 5D and 12D cinemas and challenge your mates with bumper cars and go-kart races. Don't forget to slide into the ice rink or simply take time out to enjoy